In 2022, during an American video game tournament, Omega greeted Sonics, saying, "I'm a huge fan. To stain the battlefield with your blood will be a huge honor." Sonics requested a lag test, and Omega was duly disqualified. Why? I'll say that again. In 2022, during an American video game tournament, Omega greeted Sonics, Sonics with an X, not really relevant, just wanted to clarify, saying, "I'm a huge fan. To stain the battlefield with your blood will be a huge honor." Sonics requested a lag test, and Omega was duly disqualified. Why?
For a second, I did think you meant Sonic, like multiple Sonic the Hedgehog cosplayers that you were then
I was thinking that.
A team of
the
Sonics.
battlefield with their blood. Like that's really intense, Omega. Wow.
Omega, of course, being the godlike villain from Doctor Who, so it's just a completely
quite a matchup,
unmatched battlefield here.
Yeah.
They're talking to each other. Is this on screen? So one of the people can see that something is wrong with the way that they're communicating with each other.
So I believe they were, this interaction was happening via a text chat.
Right,
Within the game?
Outside the game, in like an outside chat system, but they were playing the game, you know, together.
Is it Smash Bros?
It is actually, yeah.
I just, that's the only game I know that has very regular tournaments.
Don't know how that'll help you.
I was going to say, is that relevant?
Like, it's Jigglypuff, I knew it!
Well, I've exhausted my game knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, we've exhausted mine. The last time I had to deal with video game lag, I think I was like 14, 15. We just switched from dial-up to a cable modem, and suddenly the ping was less than 250 milliseconds. Like, this is how ancient my game knowledge is, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're not dealing on that scales of lag here.
You said Smash Bros. So that is a game where, like, frame-accurate inputs are important. Like, the twitch of a button, if it's a fraction of a second earlier or later, will make a difference. And playing online can be difficult because of that, because like the code has to deal with everything that might be lagging a little, and the lag will change over time.
Right.
So what if the lag was too low? What if the disqualified player was not actually playing over an internet connection, or they had an advantage because they were actually playing on the console that was hooked in there instead of like they should have been over an internet connection?
I'll say that's a great hunch, but surprisingly, that is actually not the factor. It's actually not the delay affecting the abilities of the players. It's something else.
Is it the text? Is it the texting between them? Like there was, it just took too long to reply between those messages that they had exchanged, and so there was some kind of delay between them.
Or it's too quick again. Like that response was lightning fast. It must have been pasted from they must have been using something to cheat because they were just able to like paste that response in, but I don't think pasting is cheating, really.
Yeah, or even like maybe using an AI to get those texts in faster. Like it wasn't actually a person.
What year was that?
2022. So that is a good hunch.
Okay.
But I'll say you're right that it is something about the message, but you are incorrect that it is something to do with sort of like a lag test in the traditional way that you guys are thinking, where like they have some unfair advantage by being too fast or too slow. Although maybe the lag test did come back being laggier or taking longer than you would think. So if anything, maybe Omega would have a disadvantage, but that's not what's going on here. That's not the reason for the disqualification. Did
calling a lag test activate something that then looked at the chat logs? And there was a keyword in there like what was the specific phrasing of that message? Like mentioning blood then automatically meant that you got disqualified or something?
Caroline, you are getting very, very close. It is
okay.
I'll read the message one more time, and I'll also say this clue, which is that our podcast is very specifically equipped for this kind of a detail and this kind of problem. I was so excited when we got this question. So I'll read it again. "I'm a huge fan. To stain the battlefield with your blood will be a huge honor."
Did he spell honor the British way?
Sure did.
Did he put a U in there? And
he sure did.
No.
And then the lag test is maybe he's just in the wrong region and thus disqualified, or maybe it's actually someone playing for him who's in a different location and he's put a ringer in.
It's simpler as that. It truly was a person from the UK playing in an American tournament trying to get away with it.
No way!
It's amazing. It was also, so the player is more commonly known as Darkstalker, and he was using an alias, I believe, for this tournament. So there was some of that.
Okay, interesting.
And there exists a clip of the chat log that was very funny, that I can only get a few words from, but you can see one of the moderators say, "Hold the effing phone. My man, my brother in Christ, where do you hail from?" And the guy goes, "London RN." And it's really, it's in the chat log, you can see Sonics say, he says, "I've seen you play Pelly too much to know what you play like, bruh." And then Omega goes, "Damn you." And then Sonics goes, "If you hadn't said what you said in the beginning, I wouldn't have thought much of it." It's a real Columbo moment. It's amazing. So yeah, they used the British spelling of honor with a U, which tipped off Sonics, who called for a lag test, and then the moderators confirmed that they were not in America.